Well, good morning. It's Crazy Cheap Chick. I just finished with my grocery shopping at Dillons. I spent about $55 for a week for two people. It was stressful because I couldn't get the internet to work in there. I couldn't load some of my coupons. I could have saved even more. But anyway, I did okay, and I'm going to tell you how I did it in just a second.
Too bad I don't like coleslaw.
Garlic is not popular. They always have lemon garlic. I don't like it either. Looks like a lot of marked down meat. So sick of hamburger though. They never seem to have much on this clearance rack that I want. $5 makeup, medicine. No thanks. This is about the only sale item they have this week that I'm going to stock up on. This morning I spent $50.57 pre-tax on my groceries at Dillons. And I'm going to show you what I got. I got quite a bit of food. I mean, this is going to be enough food for two people for all week. And let's talk about what I got. This creamer was on sale for $2.99, but I had loaded some coupons, so it rang up for $1.49. That was nice. This salsa was $2.69. Green pepper was 79 cents. The cucumber was full price, or on sale maybe for 69 cents. The ricotta cheese was probably my biggest splurge. It was $5.29. Two sweet potatoes, and they were almost $3 for two. I believe the spinach was $1.99. And the only sale item they had this week that I felt like it was worth it to stock up on was this ragu pasta sauce. And it was $1.29 each. You could buy up to 5. So that's probably 3 months pasta sauce for me. They did have 5 pounds of potatoes for $1.99 a bag. That's okay, but I'm going to tell you, watch these potatoes. Last week, my potatoes had a rotten potato in it, and I really had to search through the bags because a bunch of the bags had rotten potatoes. And hopefully these two don't, because I really tried to check all of them, but a lot of them had bad potatoes. These mushrooms were 69 cents. This was, I guess, an okay deal. I got 3 bags of this Finish dishwashing liquid. or dishwashing packs. I'm gonna have to start washing my own dishes as high as this stuff is getting, and that will not make me happy. $3.77 for 24 of them, but they're normally over $6. That's crazy. And then this was on clearance. This dusting spray, it was $1.64. There was only one of them. But one is probably a 10-year supply for me because I'm going to be honest, I don't dust very much. I don't like to dust. Then these things were all clearance. This little avocado ranch chopped kit was $1.36. The teriyaki stir fry, I got 2 of them. They were $1.05. Of course, anything in a red net bag at the Kroger conglomerate of food stores, because you know there's a ton of them. I go to a Dillons. It's a 99 cents. These bananas, when they have this red tape on them, then they're 39 cents each. I'm not sure. These rang up for 75 cents for 5 bananas. Pretty cheap. And then I got a lot of meat on clearance. Some pork chops for $3.73. This roast for $10.76, which had been $16.54. These little, I call them minute steaks or cube steaks, they're $4.09. They had some more of those hamburgers, 10 hamburgers for $3.90. Now, I also, earlier in the week, had gone to, I don't know, I call it a pallet store. It's a clearance store, and I spent about $10 at that clearance store. I got this Equal for $2.49. They say it's equal to about 8 pounds of sugar. Some ravioli, the can's kind of dented, for 69 cents, and they had 2 of them. Some artichokes for $1.49. I don't remember what this tea was, but it was inexpensive. It was about $10 for all of it. Only problem with that store is I have to remember to take cash because they only take cash. Now let's talk about what we're going to eat this week. What are we going to eat this week? Well, for breakfast, I'm not a big breakfast eater. I always have coffee with a lot of cream in it because I like cream way more than I like coffee. And if I get hungry, I'll have fruit usually. For lunches, we always have leftovers and almost always a salad. That's why I got the spinach. Now for dinners, I'm going to make this roast and some potatoes. And I've got some carrots and celery and onions, so I'll probably make a roast with some vegetables around it. And I may make this cube steak with some potatoes as well. Then we're going to have pork chops. They've been having pork chops on sale a lot, so we've been eating pork chops almost every week. And just to mix it up a little bit, I'm going to make pork chops and sweet potatoes. Then since I got this teriyaki stir fry kit, we're going to have stir fry, and I'm probably going to throw in these mushrooms for my husband. I don't like mushrooms. This little salad kit, that could either be a side salad for dinner or a lunch. And then this hamburger, 5 of these patties I'm going to fry up and use in lasagna. That's why I got the ricotta cheese, and this pasta sauce will go in it probably. And that's why I got a green pepper. I'll use half the green pepper in the lasagna, and I'll use half the green pepper probably in some burritos, and I'll probably use the other 5 hamburgers to make the burritos. I've got rice, and I've got cheese, and I've got beans, and I've got the little lasagna noodles. I've got everything I need except for the stuff I bought. So lasagna is on the menu for next week, and probably burritos are on the menu. And usually when I make lasagna or burritos, I make a big giant pan, and we'll eat half one week and half the next week because, you know, we're only 2 people. Now, all of this stuff, it's going in the prepper pantry. I'm paying it forward, and we'll eat it another week. And that's how I do it. When stuff is on sale, I stock up, but there have not been great sales here recently. Or when I find something I like at this pallet store, sometimes I'll stock up on it. I'm a tea drinker. I rarely drink water. I drink a ton of tea. Sometimes I want a tea to go, so I grabbed that because it was so inexpensive. I think it was like $1.89 or something. This is just great. This is really unhealthy, but I love it because I ate it growing up as a kid. So about once or twice a year, I'll eat this when my husband isn't here for lunch. And so if you can feed yourself for 69 cents or maybe give it to a grandkid, I don't know. And I just happen to love artichokes. So I really wish the Artichoke Association would sponsor me because I love artichokes. Either them or tea, because I love tea. But what's missing here? Well, I'm going to tell you what's missing. I don't buy a ton of processed foods. That's what runs up your food bill. And don't buy more than you need. How much food are you throwing away? Last week, I threw away so much food. I'd only spent $75, I think, at the grocery store, but I still threw away a lot of food, and that is so wasteful. It made me feel kind of sick, actually, using the earth's resources in a bad way. So I tried to dial it back a little bit this week. I really checked the pantry before I went to the grocery store to see what I had, and so I didn't double buy, and I think I did okay this week. I mean, the one thing I'm not telling you here, though, and this is a little bit deceptive for me to say I only spent $57. You know why? Because I had complained to Dillons about a couple of things. I know last week my potatoes had bad potatoes in them, and there was something else happened. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I complained in a very nice way. And I don't complain very often or in a mean way. Anyway, they had given me a $20 credit. So that $20 credit came off here. So really this should have been $57. I spend almost always about $75 a week. That just seems to be what it costs us to eat for the 2 of us. Plus, we have 3 kids who are all married, 7 grandkids. We're always having friends over. I mean, it just adds up, you know. But I used to spend $1,000 a month. Can you believe it? Well, I'm home. I got my groceries put away, and I promised you a funny story if you stuck with me all the way to the end. Now, most of the people who watch my channel are about my age. And so I think you can relate to this story. As you know, I have 7 grandkids, 5 grandsons, 2 granddaughters. And one of my grandsons is 5. He's a ton of fun. And earlier this year, he'd come over, he ran right up to me, and he said, "Nana, did you know when you die, they just put you in the ground and put a rock on top of you?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know that." And so I was a little confused. And then his mom explained to me that they'd been driving, and he'd been looking out the window, and he said, "Mom, why does that park have all those rocks in it?" And she had to explain what a cemetery was. So his interpretation of death is when you die, they put you in the ground and put a rock on top of you. Which, you know, death is a pretty hard concept for a 5-year-old. It's a pretty hard concept when you're 59, that 1 minute you're here and 1 minute you're not. Anyway, so this week they had Grandparents' Week at the school, which is kind of a thinly disguised fundraiser. I had a ton of fun. I loved it. I love seeing their rooms, meeting their teachers, seeing all their artwork. But at the end, you go to a book fair, and they've obviously been allowed to pre-shop because they're able to walk up to exactly the books they want. And so my 5-year-old grandson walked up to this book, and it was titled something like "How to Survive Any Disaster." And I said, "Are you sure that's the book you want?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to live." And I said, "Well, I want to live too, so I'll buy you that book and maybe you can read it to me." So when we left, my husband said, "You see, he's a prepper just like you." Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that funny story, and I hope you have a great week. I hope you find a lot of bargains. Please like, comment, share, or subscribe. All of those help me out tremendously. I'm trying to reach 1,000. Pretty hard for an old chick. Have a great week.